Report, former prosecuting attorney Keith Kaneshiro has been arrested this morning. Chief investigative reporter Lynn Kawano is joining us live from Kapolei. Lynn, you have been covering this story for several years. What happened that was new today?
Well, Grace, actually, these indictments came down on June 2nd, so more than 2 weeks ago. I was in the courtroom when the grand jury foreperson told the judge they had a true bill, grand jury indictments, but those were sealed. So no names were released, no charges. It wasn't until early this morning when we were out in Wailea just before 6 a.m. Keith Kaneshiro was put in the backseat of a Ford Explorer escorted by FBI agents. He self-surrendered at the condo. There are multiple other defendants. At least one, an employee of engineering firm Mitsunaga and Associates, was picked up yesterday. She spent the night in the federal detention center. Terry Otani is the executive director of that firm, which has strong political ties. The employees and their families have donated tens of thousands of dollars to Kaneshiro's campaigns in the years that he was running as prosecutor. Now, the last person to testify at the grand jury on June 2nd, just before those indictments came down, was Dwight Nadamoto, Kaneshiro's former first deputy at the prosecutor's office. In the weeks leading up to the indictment, other close allies of Kaneshiro's were also called, some repeatedly. Carol Nakamura and Roger Lau both had been called in just before the indictments as well. This investigation has lasted nearly 5 years and stems from the Kealoha corruption scandal. Catherine Kealoha worked for Keith Kaneshiro for many years as a deputy prosecutor. She is now in prison, as well as her husband, Louis Kealoha, the former police chief. Now, this is still a developing story, Grace, and I am told there have been more arrests this morning as well. We'll bring you all those details coming up later in the shows and online at HawaiiNewsNow.com.
Is to report, former prosecuting attorney